Wakenya, amkeni na focus. Wake up and focus. I just learned that there's a Ghanaian farm, kampuni ya Ghana, that has been contracted by the national government on behalf of the county government of Nairobi ya kuokota takataka. Contract imeka ngapi? 25 years. 1, 2, 3, 25. And the icing on the cake, this same company ilipewa the same contract na Mombasa County, hata wako kotini as we speak, na Mombasa County kuokota takataka huko for 35 years. 35. So 25 in Nairobi, 35 in Mombasa County. You're telling me in this whole country of ours, we do not have people that can do that job? We don't. We have to go all the way to Ghana. Ghana! Uko ndo tunapata watu wa kutuokotea takataka. Na hakuna makazi hii Kenya.
Good people, when it rains, it pours. And where there is smoke, there is definitely fire. And where Kasongo is passionately involved, corruption is lacking in the corners. And that's the sad reality in regards to Nairobi County. Just recently, we saw Dimples, the governor of Nairobi County, cede some functions to the national government, which in totality is unconstitutional. There's nowhere enshrined in our sacrosanct constitution that a county government can cede its functions to the national government, or the national government can usurp the functions of the county government. Oversight of governors is done by the MCAs. And if this was something to be done, then the law would have been followed to the letter. This motion would have been tabled in the county government, and the majority threshold to pass it or reject it. But because we are a banana republic and we do not respect the rule of law, people can just wake up and do things the way they want. They can run this county like a market, where a buyer and a seller engage, reach an agreement, goods are exchanged, money is exchanged, which is quite wrong. Other than that, the elephant in the room is this garbage contract. Now, good people, do you know in the financial year 2023 and 2024, Nairobi County spent 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion on garbage. Tell me, how lucrative or how expensive is dealing with garbage? Exactly. How expensive is it? And if you look at the bigger picture, the reason why the national government usurped some of the roles of the county government is not the usual lie they tell us that it's to improve efficiency, efficacy, and service delivery. No, it's bigger than that. Kasongo is one person who is like a bloodhound or a shark. He can smell blood from a distance. And in this case, blood to him is money. And just not little money. A colossal amount of money. Kasongo is not your ordinary thief. He's a big boy, a big player. These are the people who do scandals going to billions. There's no scandal of millions you'll ever hear Kasongo being implicated. It's billions. And one thing I've said, like I've said it before, you can never be bigger than the state or its machinery, especially when it comes to corruption. And when you see a government official being charged in courts for corruption, it's not that he's been sacrificed, it's that he opted to eat the money alone. In this country, corruption is shared and not equally. Yes, you may be the person who came up with the plan, executed it, and did it, but you will not get the lion's share. There are those in the top echelons of power, the inner sanctums of power, that dictate. corruption always fights back if you try to fight it. That's the fact, because we have systemized it. We have internalized it. It's a way of life in Kenya, and that's the sad reality. Look at Waititu. It's not that the wheels of justice are working against Waititu. It's that Waititu was too greedy. He wanted to loot Kiambu by himself, and they decided to teach him a lesson. Because if it's going to take any corrupt person to court, all governors deserve to be in court, because devolution has just brought about, has devolved corruption. Governors are the most corrupt people today, and one of the most richest people today, because of corruption. So Waititu should not carry that luggage alone. All these people should be prosecuted. But no, Waititu is suffering because he was too greedy. He wanted to eat alone. Even look like Obado. Obado had to reimburse money to the government and lose some property. Not that because justice was working, but because he was too greedy. He didn't want to eat with the late political conman and prostitute. And that is why he's suffering. So that's how it works. You have to eat. So maybe Sakaja wanted to eat this garbage thing alone. Kasongo realized, you cannot eat more than me. You can't outshine the master. Mr. Dimples forgot that Kasongo is a consumer of raw intelligence. Yes, the NIS know the people who are looting this country. They know how much is being looted. They know how much this money, where this money is moving, how it's moved, and where it's invested. That's the sad reality. Now, they go and pick a company called Jospong from Ghana. It's the parent company of this Zoom Lion that has been given this contract to be collecting garbage from Nairobi. Now, this company will be taking annually from Nairobi about 6 billion. And this same company is what the governor in Mombasa contracted for 35 years at a cost of 17 billion. Yes. Now tell me why, as a governor, who the constitution limits you to 2 terms, and even in your first term, you can get impeached or you cannot get re-elected. Why would you bind other future coming governments to a contract that is quite opaque? Why? Why not sign it first for 5 years? Get re-elected, sign it again for another 5 years to make it easy. In case you do not get re-elected, the next person knows how to deal with it. But you're signing it for how many years? 20 years. Those are like 3 governments incoming if each was to do 10-10-10. Look at Mombasa, 35 years. And there's something called Public Procurement Act. You see, when a state organ or any other public entity contracts for goods or services, it shall do so in accordance with a system that is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost effective. But that's not the case. And there are 7 principles of procurement: accountability, competitive supply, consistency, effectiveness, value for money, fair dealing, integration, and integrity. This company itself was banned by the World Bank because of bribing for contract execution and invoice processing. In Ghana itself, that company has been mad with corruption cases. And it's the same one we are bringing to handle our garbage. We don't have somebody locally who can handle this work. How hard is it to dispose garbage? Look at Sweden. They have a robust and effective energy program that they are consuming a lot of garbage to keep that energy running. They are out of garbage. They are importing garbage from Norway. Why can't we enter an agreement with Sweden and we export for them our garbage? Why are we entering this contract with a corrupt firm? The same with Adani. Why do we always pick the worst of the worst? Adani was blacklisted in India. Adani was indicted by the FBI. But it is the same person we take to run our airport. This Zoom Lion is the same company in Ghana that has been blacklisted. It's involved in a lot of malfeasance. And it's the same one we are bringing. Why do our leaders bring the worst? And people, this garbage thing is not about efficiency, efficacy, and service delivery. It's about their personal interests. It's about their personal interests because they're not even following the law. This contract is opaque. They're not even doing open bidding, which allows competitiveness, transparency, and accountability. They're just single sourcing. And the moment you single source, it's murky. We don't know what the contract entails. And it's our taxes that are going to pay this firm. Who's this powerful person in Ghana who has infiltrated Kenya and Nairobi County? Sakaja should resign. If you're ceding your duties, it shows you're incompetent and inept. And equally, the same way you're surrendering some duties is the same way you should also abdicate that seat and say kazi imenishinda. But this contract, apana, wanaiba tu. This is what now we call structural and what is it called? Infrastructure and budgeted corruption. Exactly. Quite unfortunate.
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono.
Madam na kudai umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit unawacha nikismile ama niko high jua lies nice.
Kono moja mbele ngine yenderembe. Pile up yoni